Good morning, students. How are you? Fine. Okay, very good. Now is the session of economics, and in this session, we will discuss some more important contents of national income accounting. Students, in the previous class, we came across different aggregates of national income. Okay, what are the different aggregates of national income? They are GDP, GNP, NDP and NNP. Okay, now we have seen also that first of all, value of output is estimated, and from it, by subtracting the value of intermediate consumption, depreciation, net indirect tax, and by adding net factor income from abroad to it, we obtain national income. Okay, now what type of questions can be asked in your board examination on the basis of these aggregates? Let us discuss first. Okay, students, usually three types of questions are asked on the basis of these aggregates. Okay, the first type of question will be definition based questions, right, in which you may be asked to define different aggregates of national income, such as what is GDP, what is GNP, what is NDP, and what is NNP, etc. can be asked. Okay, and I think if you have understood these concepts, these aggregates properly, then you will answer these questions very easily. The second type of questions will be distinction based questions. Okay, and in this type of questions you may be asked to distinguish the two different aggregates, such as distinguish between GDP and GNP, distinguish between NDP and NNP, distinguish between GDP at market price and GDP at factor cost, etc. etc. can be asked. Okay, so better you go through these aggregates once more from the textbook and do the related questions which may have been given at last of the chapter. Okay, the third type of questions will be calculation based questions. Okay, and in this type of questions you may be asked to calculate different aggregates of national income, such as you may be asked to calculate NDP from GDP, or from GNP to NNP, or from NNP to NDP, etc. etc. can be asked to be calculated. Okay, and for it better for you to do the calculation sides also, which may be given, which may have been given in your textbook. Okay, so three types of questions are asked on the basis of these aggregates. Now let us proceed for the next topic. Children, till now we have understood the concept of domestic income and national income. Okay, and about domestic income, we came to learn that this is the income which generates within the domestic territory of a country. Okay, now you know, children, this domestic income is classified into three categories. or you can say there are three components of domestic income. The first component of domestic income is compensation of employees. The second component of domestic income is called operating surplus. And the third component of domestic income is known as mixed income. Okay. Now you can say that domestic income or NTP at factor cost or domestic factor income or income generated is equal to compensation of employees plus operating surplus plus mixed income. Okay. Now let us discuss these components of domestic income one by one. Okay. Let us first take up compensation of employees as a component of domestic income. Okay. Let us first define what is called compensation of employees. Children, you know, compensation of employees is that part of domestic income which generates from work. Okay, and it includes all those monetary and non-monetary incentives which are given by the employer to their employees, right? This is called compensation of employees. Or in other words, you can say for performance of works, whatever is paid in monetary and non-monetary form by the employer to the employees is called compensation of employees. Now, it is important to know what are included in compensation of employees and what are not, right? Let us see one by one the items which are included in compensation of employees. Okay. First of all, we include in it wage and salary. Second, we include dearness allowance. Next, we include bonus. Next, we include retirement pension. Next, we include contributions to social security schemes like provident fund, insurance, etc. In it, we also include the medical facilities provided by the employer to the employees. Also, we include free accommodation if provided by the employer to the employees. We also include if educational facilities are provided by the employer to the children of the employees, etc. These are the important items or parts of compensation of employees mainly. Okay. Bonus is also a part of compensation of employees, right? And at the same time, it is also important to note there are some items which are not included in compensation of employees. Okay, what are these important items? These are old age pension. Why? Because it is a transfer payment, so it is not a part of domestic income. Second, next, traveling allowance is not a part of compensation of employees. Okay. Next, free uniform provided for the workplace also cannot be included in compensation of employees. And Other than this, if medical care is provided at workplace for immediate injury, then also it is not considered as a part of compensation of employees. Okay. So read carefully from your textbook what are included in compensation of employees and what are not included. Okay. And now it is important to understand the type of questions which can be asked on the basis of this component of domestic income. Children, generally definition based question is asked, such as what is called compensation of employees defined, and also it can be asked as what are the important parts of compensation of employees. Okay. Some calculation based questions may also be asked, while doing which you have to be very much careful regarding what are the parts of compensation of employees and what are not. Okay. And again, if you have some troublesome, then please contact me. Okay, children. And after it, the next important component of domestic income is operating surplus. Right? Now let us see what is this operating surplus. Children, you know, this operating surplus is that part of domestic income which generates from property and entrepreneurship. Okay. And the items of operating surplus are rent, interest, royalty and profit. Okay. Rent is paid for the use of land to the landlord. Interest is paid for the use of capital to owner of the capital. Royalty is paid to owner of the assets, intangible assets like goodwill, copyright, etc., etc. Okay. Profit is paid for entrepreneurship that involves risk bearing and innovations, and for this entrepreneurship whatever reward is given as a part of domestic income to the entrepreneur is called profit. And you know, children, profit is also classified into three components called corporation tax, undistributed profit and dividend. You know, the corporation tax of profit is the tax which is paid to the government. Undistributed profit is also called retained earning, corporate savings, reserve fund, etc. Okay. And this undistributed profit is also called plowing back of profit, and it is that part of profit which is not distributed among the shareholders but is retained by the company herself as its reserve fund. Okay. So by adding all these items you will obtain operating surplus. That means rent plus interest plus royalty plus profit is equal to operating surplus. Okay. And today I would like to finish this lecture here. Thank you.